Hello and welcome back. This is the final Alan Clarke video before Christmas. I'll do more after New Year, but I'm not going to. I'll pull a bit March before I do it. I'm going to watch some of them and then think about it before I do a video, because he's an interesting director, but I like to let it sit for a bit before I do a video on him after I've seen the films. So that's the plan. So the last two are Scum, the BBC version, and Contact. So Scum is the first one. Scum's infamous, because BBC banned it, because it was all about the Boston boys and how the abuse that goes on in the Boston system in the 70s, and it showed the government in not a very good light. Obviously they were just cowards, the BBC were just cowards at that time, and they'd probably do the same now. Actually, they probably wouldn't even commission it now. I think it was from the documentaries, it's almost like one guy commissioned it, then left, and then another guy who came in afterwards saw it and was like, oh, what the hell do we do with this? So it fell in between two regimes, so that's just how it got made, and then it was a disaster when it saw it. It was like, we cannot release this. So, but it's terrific. I mean, both of these films, I paired these two together because they're all about institutions, and because one's about the army and this one's about the Boston system, and it's not simplistic the way that you'd think. I mean, you would think that it would just be these Boston boys have been abused and that's it, and it's horrible, and how could we do anything with that? No, it shows you they're little bastards most of the time. Like, they're in jail for a reason. They are basically set against each other by the, what they call the screws, which is the prison wardens for these young offenders. I mean, there are systems in place they have to get around. Like, the governor is a religious guy who thinks he's doing a good job, but he doesn't realise he's just an idiot, he's just a nothing. And the guys who run the prison are actually the guys who run the different wings, and they just find the daddy, which is the guy who runs the prisoners from within the prisoners, and then deals with him, and then they just come down on anybody who does any infractions. Any minor infractions. If it's a major infraction, it might cause problems for them. Anything that would do with looking into a problem deeply, they'll have nothing to do with. Like, someone gets raped in this film and they just let it pass, they're not going to deal with it at all. They have a counselling session. The counselling sessions, the person involved in it does it as a job, but doesn't really care. It's like just telling them to have manners and doesn't want to actually look into any of the problems, the actual problems. So the kids are on their own, really. Like, the government are inefficient. They don't care. They're not going to do anything about anything. It's just like, put these animals in this area and let them serve their time, and then they'll probably go out and cause trouble and get back into prison. They're not trying to reform anything. They pretty much assume that these people are going to go be habitual prisoners. And this is the first line in a lifetime of crime. So they're not trying to teach them anything, any skills that might get them out of the system. It's just like, well, that's it. And God forbid if you're intelligent, because there's nothing there for you. They're just that means they hate you if you're intelligent. If you're going to screw them over by being intelligent, they'll get back at you. So it's pretty cynical. And you go in with a few characters who go in. One guy who ran away from an easier Boston, now is put into the heavier one. Okay, next week Carlin, who is a tough guy from one of the other Bostons, and he's been sent down to this new Boston, so he's a reputation. Then there's a couple of kids who are also sent there, who you see in the background mostly. They're not really featured as really important, even though as a background characters they are important. You're just seeing how other kids survive, or because one's pretty limited intelligence, but he turns psycho. Another one just tries to survive and hide. Because he's black, there's a lot of basic racism. This doesn't hide the fact there's racism. There's basic racism in this place. Carlin uses racism just as a power play against other black inmates who he wants to put down because he wants to be the daddy. So the first half is Callan trying to work out how to work the system. He's getting bullied by the daddy there at the moment. He's been bullied by the prison, basically the Boston wardens. And at a certain point, he just turns on them and beats the hell out of them and out of the other Boston boys, and he takes over as the daddy. And then you just see, instead of renovating anything, he just like, okay, this is my power base now. You have to deal with me. And that's it. There's no idealistic, we're going to change this system from prevent. It's just like, this system's broken. I'm just going to try and survive the best I can. There's also another guy who's more intelligent, he's older, he's a reader, who was caught fiddling books. He should have gone to jail, but instead he was sent to the Bostels instead because he was quite young. And he tries to make the Bostel experience hell for the people who have to guard him. So he tells them he's turning Muslim, he tells them he's a vegetarian even though he's not, he's just trying to make life difficult. He tells them he's an atheist, so he can avoid the church thing they inflict on the boys. And it's just, he's just doing everything he can. And he has a great speech later on saying, you do know that we leave and you Boston wardens are basically the inmates here because we're going to leave eventually, but you're still stuck here, which did not go down well. So there's all this intelligence and feeling of this is a messed up situation. No one knows what to do with it because these boys are legitimately criminal and they come from tough areas and they're hard to handle. You know, it's like, it's not like you can just give them a easy cure. There's no easy cure because they come from areas that have already been deprived, so they're dealing with institutionalised lack of care for years. So when they come in here, they're very cynical about what they're going to see. And they're not nice to each other, not nice to anybody. So it's not an easy situation for anybody to deal with these guys, but they still manage to do it badly. And the real complexity of the film is the idea that these boys are a problem, but it's been dealing with a bit better than this. This is like just not caring at all. This is just like main problem worse by not actually trying anything. Like they don't have people who actually have some insight into the problems. They basically let the kids police themselves beyond a certain point. They don't try and impose any structure. It's just cruelty. And the kids realise that, and eventually it explodes into violence. Starts as violence against each other, small time violence, and then eventually it becomes violence against the system. That, again, the authorities are going to deal with for violence, and it ends with it just been a mess. And that's the movie. The movie is just about this mess, institutionalised mess that the kids who are predators are victims of in this case. So it's not simplistic as in these are good guys, they're bad guys. It's like everyone's corrupted in their own way. Everyone's flawed. Everyone's done stuff that's not nice. So how do you solve this problem? Well, this is the real way not to solve the problem. This is a way to have the problem continue. Which I think was a problem for, outside of the violence and the fact that you showed kids raping each other, which is not. And then you showed the authorities not doing anything about it. That's really disturbing. Even now that's disturbing. But it's also, you're just showing that the government's complicit and they're not really trying, they're just paying money to just have the problem hidden away somewhere. Which is a problem that they had a lot in the 70s. Like, there were programs, but they didn't really start the program for anything that would be useful. It's a problem we have nowadays in Britain too. I mean, it's not going away. It's just that they've got sort of nicer words for things, but they still don't really care that much. It's just like, as long as we don't have to, as long as we don't get caught, just do what you're going to do. So it's about the state of institutions and how a lot of the time they're not really in the favour of the individual. And just how the whole system's corrupt. So Scum's terrific. There's a remake, Coronary Band, they remade it as a film, but the remake's not as good. You know, it was the version people saw for years because the BBC version was banned, but once you see both together, the remake feels a bit tacky in comparison because the original they're younger and it's just more brutal, more simple, and it just delivers better, really, I think. Now, Contacts, again, about our institution and Kieran institution, it's about Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland is a problem eternal for Britain. It's even now when I'm filming this, when it's a Brexit negotiation situation where the DUP is now the partner of the Conservative Party that rules Britain for the votes, and it's all a mess. So Ireland's always been a problem, and this is in the 80s where it was a real problem because there was terrorism. They were killing each other, which plot showed in Elephant. And this showed the fact that the British were in Ireland and the British were completely unprepared. It was there, basically it was there Vietnam really, where you'd send people in, you send them in with guns, but no one wants them there. And people will find ways to kill them. The enemies will find ways to kill them, and there's no real safe area. The safe area for you is your barracks, which is other people, and everyone's just depressed. And it's all these kids. I mean, the kids are young. Most of the kids with the guns have been trained, but they're kids and they have to follow orders, and they're going through this area where people don't like them, people don't want them there. And there's that atmosphere of violence can explode at any second. And their squad leaders aren't that much older, they're just cracking up under the pressure of, they're leading these kids who are getting killed for a political situation that's unfeasible. It's not working. And they try to maintain order that can't be maintained because no one wants them there, and they don't have a real plan to maintain order. They just have this plan that they're going to do, they're going to cover this area, and they're going to make sure there's no one there, and they're going to, if they see anybody who's suspicious, they're going to try and apprehend them, and if there's violence, they kill them. Which makes the situation worse later on, because they're now killing people that are British citizens. So they're killing their own citizens, and it's just a mess. I mean, it's just a total mess. And the whole thing is about these sticking with these soldiers, not getting political, not having some big political diatribe about what's going on. It's just like, these are the soldiers, this is the route they have to take. And you follow them back and forward from the barracks to these different routes they cover. And you see the squad leader slowly going mad under the pressure, but he just has to keep going. It's just like, yeah, it's a shit job, just keep at it. Yeah, people are killed. You have to tell the kids in your unit to, and these kids are like 18, 19, it's just saying like, you have to get over it, it's just life. Even though he's not feeling that way, he's feeling pretty destroyed by the situation. But it's just life. So you just have to get over it. Don't whine, do your job. And it's about that you see them interact with each other in very spare ways as they go through the landscapes. But they just look lost in. They're just these people who just should not be there. There's no actual war to fight. It's a vague war. They don't have any real objectives. It's just like, just go there and patrol. But there's no objectives. You're just looking at your own people, the people you're meant to be protecting, as the enemy. And that's damaging. And it's just a great look at futility. It's something where the political class don't have a solution, and they don't really find one. But what they put in place just does more damage to everybody. Instead of actually trying to find a real solution, of just create this mess, this institutionalised situation where people are victimised on both sides, well, they just don't deal with it. And so it's from the victimised people's point of view again, which is Clarke's about the underclasses, the people are ignored by the overclasses. And this is just devastating, just watching this, and you're just slowly losing the will to focus on what they're doing, because it's just meaningless. You're watching it and it's meaningless. What they're doing is meaningless, and you're just starting to watch this film float through, and the floating through the landscape is the meaning. It's just like there's no point to any of this. These guys die, doesn't matter. They survive, it doesn't matter, no one cares. And that's what's great about Contact. Contact's about the death of meaning in Northern Ireland in the 80s when people were just giving up. Thankfully, there's been progress since then. But it could cover any war that's meaningless, any situation that's politically, there's no real reason for what's going on. You see this continue throughout history. It's going to continue in the future as well. These kids ask to go do something that's useless because they're soldiers. That's all it is. That's all it's about. So that's another great film. I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, those two films are quite depressed when I was talking about them. I was realising, God, those. I mean, something like The Firm had Gary Oldman's energy, and Scum had Ray Winston's energy, but it's much more compromised in Scum because he's more compromised, and these are quite depressing films. Even though there's lots of fun, humane moments in, especially Scum, even for the darkness, but they are quite depressing because it's institutionalised violence, and that's never ending. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be back soon with some more.